Hello friends, Dr. Nels here, and this week we're going to talk to you about the dangers of using the need to know basis. Welcome back, friends. Dr. Nels here, coming to you with content on life, leadership, business, and family, building your values and principles so that you can be the best version of you. And this week we are talking about the dangers of using the terms and practices of a need-to-know basis. And a week ago we were talking about how some people can't handle the transparency and over communication, especially when it comes to finances and pay. And my good Pastor Cale friend here, recorder, brought up the topic of a need to know basis. And I talked about that for a little bit, but I thought that was really good because I absolutely hate that phrase. I think there's better ways to go about that, which is why we talked about the information we talked about last week. Now we're coming back to you with this on the dangers of a need-to-know basis. And Cale, after we finished up recording that prior one, what was some of the things you were talking about, those dangers that you see in utilizing that terminology?
Well, it creates the separation between you and them, right? Whoever has the information and those who quote unquote need to know or don't need to know, it creates a separation, and so therefore trust is easily broken there, or you can very easily make assumptions based on whether you're in the conversation or not in the conversation.
Yeah.
And then as a leader, how you determine who needs to know what and to what extent, how transparent are you with some people, whether that's based on track record, based on performance. I mean, there are so many different potholes in that theory that creates more tension than I think it creates more resolution. And so we talk about the dangers of the need to know. And I think as there are some places where it is necessary just based on legalities or personal private information,
proprietary information.
There is a time and place for it, but it can't be a one size fits all answer simply because you're unwilling or not wanting to divvy out information to certain people.
Yeah. So you heard my good friend Pastor Cale there. I thought it was really awesome information because he can think of organizations, I can think of organizations that this need to know basis gets probably thrown around too loosely, and it creates this, as he said, a lot of negative opportunities. Distrust is at the top of the list, probably. The one other thing that I'd add to that is maybe some people starting to think less of themselves. Am I not good enough to know the information?
Why am I not meeting the standard that they've created?
Yeah. Do they think I'm not trustworthy enough? I mean, what's the scenario? And so I think the reason we wanted to come back to that is if you're using that terminology at all, we want you to think about the prior episode and this episode of, all right, I am using, you're on a need-to-know basis type language. And if you are, think about that a little deeper. How you're using that, when you're using it, who you're using it with, and question yourself why. And we would charge you to use it less. Try to use it less often. Yeah, we understand the financial aspect. We understand the proprietary knowledge aspect. You named another aspect, I can't remember what it was.
The legalities of it.
Legalities of it. So we get that, but if you're using it too much, I'm going to say that you probably need to be more transparent. You probably need to work on over communicating some more information. Maybe not. But we're here to challenge your biases, your thought processes, and just what you're doing on a daily basis so that you can be the best version of you, so you can help your team be the best versions of themselves. Because if we're not being overly transparent and overly communicative with our team members, they can't be the best for you and for themselves. So we're glad you're here today. We hope you enjoy this content. Click subscribe here, and we'll see you next week, friends.